Hello all you baby bats and bad witches, it's Marilyn, and for this video I'm going to be doing a get ready with me, just updating you guys on where I've been because I know I disappeared for a little bit, and finally sharing my dream hair with you guys. So go grab your makeup or a snack or something because I'm going to be talking this whole time. But before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to this channel as well as to all of my social media linked down below. To get started with the makeup, I'm going to be going in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I'm going to also be using their Flawless Finish Foundation. I'm not really doing anything, so I'm just going to go for a really sheer, buildable kind of coverage. And you'll have to excuse the band-aid on my finger. I get a lot of paper cuts at work, and that's one of the things that I've been doing since I've been gone. Although this year has been really crazy, I did finally get the opportunity to work, and it's a pretty safe environment. I actually have an office job, so I just work in a cubicle, so that's why I was finally able to pay to do my hair. So this was a gift to myself for my birthday. I just celebrated my 24th birthday during my absence as well, so that pretty much covers what I've been doing while I was gone. I had a whole bunch of fun doing my Halloween series. On actual Halloween, I ended up doing my first prosthetic. I did a Miss Piggy look, which I didn't film just because it was my first time doing that kind of makeup. Special effects is definitely not one of my areas of makeup. I love more editorial and like glamour makeup. But for my first attempt and also my first time wearing any type of special effects, it was pretty weird. I have to admit, like, it was pretty uncomfortable, not my favorite, and not my best work either, so that's why it was better for me just to test out the waters. So before I style my brows, I kind of want to explain why I bleached them. Basically, it's because since I've never had actual, like, hair on my face for brows, I've shaved them off since I was really young, so since they were there, I wanted to experiment with them and just, like, do something completely different. And I realized when I wanted to shave off both sides of my head, I would have to wear my middle part for like work. I mean, not that I have to, but I don't feel comfortable like having to explain myself constantly. I do it for myself, so it's okay for me to like keep it to myself sometimes. I want to be able to hide it, but I don't really like how I look with a middle part, so I wanted to give myself something a little more unique and my own take on like a death rock hairstyle. I started bleaching my eyebrows before I finished my hair, so they're pretty grown out, and I'm gonna cover them up with some concealer. This is the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Warm. The best way that I've found to style these is to just brush them through with some lighter concealer or like a white foundation. Because if you fill them in and make them look blocky, it kind of defeats the purpose of them being like hairy. It's just kind of difficult. You have to be careful not to bump the product onto your skin, which I'm doing it. I'm getting it like all over the place. An easy way to wipe away any of that is just with a brush. And I also like to do this before I do my concealer, just so that I can cover any mistakes that I make. And I found that it's important to use a product that has a matte finish, just so that it doesn't smear all over the place throughout the day. But this is just going to freshen them up and hide any of those little hairs that have grown back in. But just to make sure that all of the hairs are in place, I'm going in with the NYX Bare With Me Brow Setter. This is in a clear color, and I love the way that it kind of hairsprays my hairs into place. This stuff is super strong. This really helps me have them exactly where I want. So now for some added coverage and to cover up any of the mistakes I made around my brows, I'll be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I would have never thought that I'd be one to have these crazy bleached brows, but I feel like once I get tired of them, I'll just shave them off. Now that I have my dream hair, I can finally do like the hair tutorials that I've always wanted to do, but I haven't really told anyone about this. The first time that I ever heard about someone kind of doing something like this was with the whole, I'm really into YouTube, so like, I don't know if you guys remember like the whole Onision drama of like him emasculating his wife and now husband Kai, like during all the drama that happened with like the Chris Hansen investigation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay, but what I'm basically trying to bring up is like he had this weird like fetish to like shave off girls' hair, and it was like an accusation that came across to him a lot. And ever since I shaved the sides of my head, or like whenever I do a makeup tutorial showing it, I would always get these like little weird comments on TikTok, and they started transferring over to my Instagram now too. But like it made me kind of weary of like wanting to show my hair. I mean, I'm still gonna do it, but they were like, post videos of your hair, of you shaving your head. I'm not one to kink shame, but also I'm not trying to be objectified. It's just a really weird situation, and a thing that I've noticed. I'm gonna move on to setting my face now, and I'm gonna be using the Ben Nye Nutriset for my under eyes and the Milani Conceal and Perfect powder for the rest of my face. I'm just quickly gonna finish off the rest of my cheek makeup with what I usually use, which is the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in 01, LA Girl's Just Bare Blush, and just a little bit of the Milani Afterglow highlighter. I'm currently on the last episode of Rompan Todo, which is the Netflix Latin American rock music documentary series, and it's so amazing. I always kind of knew that a lot of the Mexican rock music was not really accepted there, but I didn't really understand why or know the history of it. And I really wanted to watch this show because, especially during quarantine, I've been doing research into a lot more gothic rock music influences, because I feel like I know all of like the essentials, but I wanted to go in a little bit deeper and see like what my personal culture and their influence had on that scene, if any, you know? And I'm so surprised to see it, like all the different artists that came out of Latin America that ultimately did influence and expand rock to so many other people. I was surprised to find out that they actually were jailed and it was criminalized to even listen to any rock and roll music. Although I'm a huge fan of like a lot of foreign goth music, I wasn't really knowledgeable of the history behind it, which is also like really important. And I would really recommend this documentary series. I'm on the last episode, I haven't seen it yet, but I probably will once I'm done with this makeup. The main reason why I feel comfortable doing my base first before I do my eyes is because I'm going to be going in with a cream product. I ordered a whole bunch of stuff from Danessa Myricks, and I haven't used it in like any YouTube videos yet. This eye is going to be super quick and easy. To complete this eye look, I'm only going to be using two products, and it's going to be the Danessa Myricks Color Fix Foil in the shade Cosmic. And for the center of my lid, I'm going to be adding the Sugarpill Silver Lake pigment. I'm picking that up on the back of my hand using a Moda Pro detail brush. This product is basically a liquid pigment, and you can use it anywhere on your face as a blush, as an eyeshadow base, as a lipstick, and these foils are super glittery, look at that. Now these do dry down and set, so I have to work pretty quickly, but this is honestly like the quickest smoky eye. I've done looks like this before using like the House Labs liquid eyeshadows. With whatever's left over, I'm going to be running it under my eyes, just really messily. I've really missed filming tutorials. I'm really glad to be back, and I actually did pick up a whole bunch of makeup during like Black Friday, so expect a lot more videos showing some new stuff. Speaking of new stuff, I also wanted to talk about the My Chemical Romance Hip Dot release. I'm taking that same brush, it's just like a different one that's clean, and I'm gonna smooth out my edges. I know a lot of people had a bad experience with the launch of the My Chemical Romance makeup, and I totally saw it, and I did get my hands on a palette, but I still really want the box set. Fortunately, my sister was able to get a hold of it, so she's gonna let me film with it. The only problem is that she got the pre-sale. I mean, at least she was able to get it at all, because I've been seeing a lot of people post that they've already started to get theirs in the mail. So I unfortunately was not a part of that first wave, but you best believe as soon as I get my palette, I'm gonna film with it. I think honestly though, my palette is gonna get here before my sister gets her package because her pre-sale said it was gonna come in like in March, and I got to order my palette through the Hot Topic website, and on there it says that they're gonna get it in January. So we'll see what happens. I really wanted the makeup brushes. I didn't get the brush. I know a lot of people don't actually like double-sided brushes, but I love them, and the ones that HipDot created for this launch are actually really genius because they have the caps on them. I'm really sad I didn't get them. I'm going to be laying down a little bit of the NYX glitter primer as a base for the pigment. Speaking of My Chemical Romance, lately with everything that's been shut down, the thing that I've been doing to like have some fun during lockdown is going to like different movie locations and filming locations and taking photos, and I went to the set of Danger Days. It was out in the middle of absolutely nowhere in the desert. It was like right down the street from another location that I had gone to for the church from Kill Bill, and both of the places were pretty much just film sets. So it's like out in the middle of nowhere in the desert, there's just places to film. Which makes sense, like nobody will bother them and stuff, but it's just really interesting to like go to all these places and see what it's actually like. I found that it's a really safe way to have fun during this time. This silver is so bright. I haven't actually had a good like silver eyeshadow. It's amazing. Honestly, this bleach brow is really fast. Doing my eyebrows usually takes me a long time. I feel like this is going by so fast. All I have left to do is my lashes and lips, and also another new release that I got my hands on was the Melt Beetlejuice collection. I pretty much only wanted the mascara just because of the red packaging. It goes with like all my red emo vanity stuff. And I also have the Waiting Room palette. I was waiting until I finished doing my hair so that I can do my 3 looks 1 palette for this collection, and I'm finally done. I did start filming it, so that's going to be my next video, so please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see that. I've seen a lot of people posting with like the green one, but honestly this is a little bit more like the Lydia Dietz character, and when I saw it I screamed because, I mean, I'll talk about it more in that video, but I know it's just like a black and red eyeshadow palette, which is, well, black and red and gray, which are my favorite colors. It also has a white in there. And if you've been on my channel for any amount of time, you know I want to look like Helena from the My Chemical Romance music video at all times. You already know I had to get it, so that's going to be my next video. I'm just going to go ahead and add my lipstick and lashes, and I'll be right back. For lashes, I added the Ardell 203 lashes, and the lipstick I'm wearing is Sugar Pill's Anti-Socialite. I also noticed the concealer that I used throughout my brows was kind of oxidizing, so I touched it up with the Danessa Myricks TW Vision Cream color. This is a white foundation. Now for my hair, I'm going to be doing a super simple half updo. I'm teasing my hair to my desired height, and then once I'm happy with it, just smoothly brushing it over on the top. I'm repeating that same step onto the other side. The tool that I'm using is just a fine-tooth comb, and then I'm going to be pinning these hairs onto the top of my head using some bobby pins. I had to grow out some hairs that were like overly shaved, so to hold those back up in place, I'm using the Got To Be Glued Super Hold Hairspray. And this is the completed look. Thank you so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me video. As I said before, I do have some videos planned, so if you'd like to see what I'm up to next, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a thumbs up down below as well. For a closer look at this makeup and all of my other looks, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at MarilynMugBeat. I'll see you next time. Bye!